How's it going, everyone? Today I'm going to show you how to remove the side fairings from a 2017 Kawasaki Ninja 650. Starting in 2017, the 17, 18s, and 19s, they had a complete revamp in the whole design of the bike. They went to a new trellis frame. They changed the fairings. They lowered the seat height. They dropped a ton of weight out of it. And I was looking online and I can't find really anything of how to remove these fairings. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. Pretty much mostly going to be removing 6M bolts. And you're going to be removing some plastic rivets. It's very simple. All you're really going to need is a very small flat head screwdriver to release the rivets. You're going to need a 4 millimeter, a 5 millimeter, and I think a 3 millimeter hex key. And this is, up to you if you decide. Maybe some plastic bags to put all your hardware in. What I like to do is once I remove hardware from a fairing, I'll go ahead and I'll throw it in a plastic bag, and I'll use something like that's not going to hurt the paint or anything. Some painter's tape. And I'll go ahead and just tape that bag to the inside of the fairing. That way I know that hardware goes with that fairing. The first thing we're going to want to do is remove the we're going to want to remove the frame sliders if you have any. Go ahead and do that now. And it does help if you have your bike up on a rear stand. You don't have to, but it's going to make your life a lot easier. Now, if you have these kind of frame sliders, you really just have to remove this. If you just have the kind that has it's sticking out like this, then you could really just leave that and you can just slide the fairing right off that. All right, next thing what we can remove is this plastic piece right here. It's gonna have just two. It's gonna have two 5M bolts, you just want to be careful on the inside because it is held on by a couple. When you remove the bolts, it's not gonna come right off. It's gonna have a couple plastic clips that's kind of hooked under the inside of the top and lower fairings, and there's also, I believe, a couple rubber bushings. With tabs that's going to pull right off. Sometimes the bushings come off, that's not a big deal. They can just be a pain in the butt to get back on. You got 3 tabs. You got one. We got 1, 2, 3 tabs right here, and they insert into these. So you don't want to just yank it off because you could break these plastic tabs. So you want to be very, very careful. And then you got another tab right here, and then there's going to be a tab with a bushing that, so it's just gonna pop right off. You just want to be a little careful with it. Let's see, hard to do this with one hand. Oh, there you go. So again, like I said, you got these. There's a rubber bushing that went right here. You can see when I yanked on it, it kind of just came right off. But you can feed it right back in there. They can just be a pain. If you have any trouble, you can always use a flathead screwdriver. You just have to be careful not to tear it. Oh, see, it's in there. Again, this right here is what popped right in it. So now that you got this off, you can move that to the side. All right, so the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to remove a series of bolts here, here. These two bolts, this one and this one, they have plastic washers on them to protect them from the paint when you screw in, so just make sure you hold on to those plastic washers. And we're also going to be removing a series of rivets underneath the wheel well. So let's see if I can get in here with a light. These are very simple rivets. So let's see, we're gonna want to remove. All right, so the rivets. Get a light. We got one right here, and then one right here, and then one right here. You do not have to remove the two rivets that are right underneath the nose, that one and that one, because when you're done, these plastic pieces are just going to kind of hang. And then we also have a big rivet right here, and then one small plastic rivet right underneath, right there. All the rivets are the same except for this one. This is a big one. Start by removing this one down here. If you can, what really helps, especially when you have, you know, different kind of hardware that goes in the bike, like if you can see this, I'm not sure if it can zoom in or not, but this, as you can tell, looks a little different. So what I'm going to do with this is, after I took it off, I'm just going to put it right back in the spot. That way I know that that goes there. You could really do that anywhere you want. All right, so then we're going to remove these top ones. Again, remember these two are going to have plastic washers. So hold on to those plastic washers. Got one more right here. This is a different bolt. Alright, now this is one big fairing right here. What we're gonna do, we gotta release all the pins. How you release these pins, I'll show you in a second. You just press the inside of them. You press them in just to release the rivet. So 1, 2, 3, 4 rivets on the side I had to release, and then the small rivet right here on the bottom. And then of course we're going to have to take out this big rivet. The big one is what connects the two fairings down here on the bottom. You can either get a screwdriver in or get your flathead in. I'm using a flathead only because I got gloves on. It's hard to get, fingernails on. I've got rivets falling on me. There. I'll show you what I mean by pressing in the center rivet and why it's a little bit easier to do it with the 3mm. So, if I can zoom in or focus. So that's your rivet right there. When it goes in, to release the rivet, you're going to put pressure on that center part. Just like that. Well, that one fell out, but it releases it to the inside, and then you can just pull it right out. It definitely comes in handy to have extra rivets on hand because they fall out, they break, and they're really cheap. You can get them on Amazon. Just them falling everywhere. Okay. All right. Next, so we got a pin into a rubber bushing right here. I'll show you in a second. And then this, you got multiple hooks just like you had on this one piece, 1, 2, 3. We've got one in the front, and we got a series of them along the front. So you don't want to rip it straight out because then you're going to break it. If you can release. There's bushing right here. To release it, kind of pull it out. Be very careful. There we go. Made me nervous. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to kind of shift this forward a little bit and then down. So we're going to go forward. Make sure I'm not connected anywhere else. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. So we got a little bit of that plastic underneath still attached by a rivet that didn't fully come out. Where are you? There you are. Alright. Now you can see that this plastic is fully released right here. Also, what you're going to want to do, this is to the headlight right here. You're going to want to get like a flathead screwdriver, and you're going to want to press these pins in right here to kind of release it, and you're going to want to press that inside, and then you're going to want to unhook this. You're going to want to unhook this headlight cable. Otherwise, it's just going to be dangling there. Let's go ahead and get this. Go ahead. Just release it and press it in. There we go. Now, so all it's doing is connected by the headlight cable. That's why I said. Luckily, I can actually just set it right around the slider. Be careful with this. Just unhook. And there we go. And we have another rivet that was hiding in there. So there you go. This is all one piece. So that's how to remove the side fairings of a 2017, 18, 19 Kawasaki Ninja 650.